A cold wind swept across the military base as alarms blared in the distance. The helicopter lay motionless on the tarmac, its rotors stiff, its heart silent. Technicians scrambled around it, tools clanging, voices overlapping, sweat on their brows despite the chill of the night. A mission critical to saving lives was grounded because the machine refused to breathe again. Soldiers stood waiting, tense, knowing that time was slipping away. Every second lost meant men stranded behind enemy lines, their survival dependent on this bird taking flight. In the middle of the chaos, the base commander, a grizzled general with decades of battle etched into his face, clenched his fists. He had seen wars turn on moments like this. Get it in the air. He barked, but the technicians shook their heads. They had tried every procedure, every manual step, and still the engine refused. Hope was fading, and whispers of failure began to creep into the soldiers' minds. And then, in the distance, a figure appeared, pushing through the crowd with calm determination. A man in worn jeans, a simple jacket, and tired but steady eyes. His name was Ethan. Once, he had been a combat pilot and mechanic in the army. Now, he was just a single dad, raising his young son after losing his wife years ago. He had left the uniform behind, but the call of duty never truly left him. Tonight, the general himself had sent for him. Ethan walked up to the grounded helicopter, ignoring the skeptical looks from the technicians. "Sir, with all due respect," one of them muttered, "he's been out of service for years. What can he do that we couldn't?" But the general silenced them with a stare. "Sometimes," he said, "machines don't just need hands. They need someone who knows their soul." Ethan climbed into the cockpit, his fingers brushing over the controls like an old friend he hadn't seen in years. Memories flooded back. Nights in hostile territory, the thunder of rotors above his head, and the brotherhood of soldiers who trusted him with their lives. He closed his eyes for a moment, steadying his breath. Then he went to work. The technicians watched as he bypassed systems, rewired circuits, and muttered under his breath like a man speaking to a stubborn mule. His son, standing just beyond the barrier, looked on with wide eyes. "Come on, Dad, you can do this," the boy whispered. The general, arms crossed, could feel his men watching too. This wasn't just about a helicopter anymore, it was about faith, about seeing one man carry the weight of a moment bigger than himself. Hours of trial boiled down into minutes of precision. Ethan turned a final switch, adjusted the throttle, and gave a sharp nod. Clear. The crew stepped back. He hit the ignition. For a heartbeat, nothing. The silence was so heavy it crushed the air. Then, with a deafening roar, the engine coughed, sputtered, and came alive. The rotors spun, slow at first, then faster, faster, until the night was filled with the thunder of power returning. The helicopter was alive. Cheers erupted, but Ethan didn't smile. His focus remained until the gauges glowed steady green, until he was certain this bird could fly. Only then did he step back, his hands trembling slightly. The general placed a hand on his shoulder. "You didn't just fix a machine tonight. You gave hope back to my men." Ethan looked over at his son, who was grinning proudly, and for the first time in years, his heart felt light. The mission went forward. The helicopter lifted off, carrying soldiers to rescue their brothers, the night sky echoing with its promise of return. Ethan stood with his boy, watching it disappear into the distance, knowing his part was done. He wasn't a soldier anymore, but tonight reminded him, and everyone else, that true service never ends. As the story closes, imagine the general's words echoing like a lesson: heroes aren't always in uniform. Sometimes, they're fathers. Sometimes, they're men who refuse to let hope die. And to every viewer watching this tale unfold, if it touched your heart, if it reminded you that courage still lives in ordinary people, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that keep the spirit of resilience alive. Because one day, we all might need to answer a call we thought we left behind.